In the day's other news, the Biden administration made fresh accusations that Russia is plotting a fake attack by Ukrainian forces as a pretext to invading Ukraine. Pentagon spokesman John Kirby said U.S. intelligence shows Moscow is willing to go to elaborate lengths.
We believe that Russia would produce a very graphic propaganda video, which would include corpses and actors that would be depicting mourners and images of destroyed locations, as well as military equipment.
The allegations came as Ukraine's President Zelensky met in Kyiv with Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who has offered to mediate. And Russia's defense minister met with the president of Belarus as Russian troops massed there near Ukraine's border. In Washington, the Secretaries of State and Defense briefed Congress today. We'll focus on that after the news summary. Here in the United States, much of the nation is feeling the full weight of winter tonight. Millions of people from the Southwest to New England are facing snow, ice, and even tornadoes. Nicole Ellis has our report.
Crews and residents across the Midwest are digging their way out as a sprawling winter storm pushes farther across the country. Some places have reported over a foot of snow, creating dangerous driving conditions in several states. Air travel has also been disrupted. More than 4,000 flights were canceled today alone. Many other flights have been delayed.
I got stuck for 3 hours on an American Airlines flight while we were on the ground. Please no. That was a terrible experience I would never want to repeat.
The extreme weather also knocked out power for at least 200,000 homes and businesses, mostly in Texas, Tennessee, and Arkansas. The storm runs the gamut of precipitation: snow, rain, sleet, and a combination of all three. According to this National Weather Service map, an intrepid motorist could travel all the way from Maine to Texas and still be within the storm's grasp. In Austin, Texas today, Governor Greg Abbott said that mix of ice, freezing rain, and wind is particularly difficult.
We are dealing with one of the most significant icing events that we've had in the state of Texas in at least several decades.
He also said the state is much better prepared than it was for last year's week-long storm. It rocked the electrical grid and triggered widespread blackouts. More than 4 million were without power and more than 200 people died, many of them from hypothermia. The reliability and the maintenance of the state's electrical grid and the governor's record on that was at the center of heavy criticism.
As compared to last year, Texas has about 15% more power generation capacity. There is also more reserve power available than last year.
Even so, tens of thousands of Texans have lost power from this storm. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Nicole Ellis.
At the Winter Olympics today, organizers of the Beijing Games dismissed allegations of human rights violations in China. A spokesman said all such claims are a lie. Meanwhile, activists protested outside the International Olympic Committee building in Lausanne, Switzerland. They cited China's treatment of Muslim Uyghurs and of Tibet. The World Health Organization now says that Europe could be nearing a ceasefire in its battle with COVID. The agency's European director said today that the ongoing surge of Omicron cases will actually help bring on the pandemic's endgame.
We here in the European region have a unique situation. First and foremost, that once the Omicron wave will subside, there will be a large capital of immunity, be it thanks to the vaccine or due to the infection.
A number of European nations have dropped nearly all of their COVID restrictions. Back in this country, the former Chicago police officer who killed a black teenager, Laquan McDonald, was released from prison today. Jason Van Dyke shot McDonald 16 times and was convicted of second-degree murder. He got 6 years and 9 months behind bars, but he served less than half of that due to good behavior. The owner of the Washington Pro football franchise, Dan Snyder, is facing new allegations of sexual harassment by former employees. At a congressional hearing today, one woman said Snyder groped her thigh at a dinner. Others talked of a toxic atmosphere, with team executives even hiring prostitutes after one event.
I worked at the Washington football team for 8 years, and I can't recall a time that I didn't experience or fear sexual harassment. It was just a pervasive part of the culture and an unavoidable rite of passage being a woman who worked there.
Snyder said the allegations against him are, quote, outright lies. All of this came a day after the team rolled out its new name, the Washington Commanders. Tesla has announced a U.S. recall for the second time this week. This time, it involves more than 817,000 vehicles. Their seatbelt reminder chimes may not sound when they're supposed to. Earlier this week, Tesla recalled 54,000 vehicles because self-driving software can let them roll through stop signs. And a tough day on Wall Street. Shares in Facebook's parent company Meta plunged 26% after fourth quarter profits fell. That is the biggest one-day decline for any U.S. company ever, and it took the rest of the market down. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 518 points, nearly 1.5%, to close at 35,111. The Nasdaq fell 538 points, 3.7%. The S&P 500 dropped 112, 2.4%. Still to come on the NewsHour, Sarah Palin takes the New York Times to court over an erroneous editorial. Women in Afghanistan protest defying the Taliban. What to watch as the Beijing Winter Olympics get underway, plus much more.
This is the PBS NewsHour from WETA Studios in Washington and in the West from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University.